First-year D-line coach Jeff Phelps. Coach, it's good to have you on, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Every fan wants to know, and I don't want to spend too much time on the game itself for obvious reasons. What in the world did you do with your D-line when you were with Minnesota against the Cougs in the Holiday Bowl?
Yeah, well, we had some great players there, and my hat's tipped to those guys, and I wish them all the best. They play with a lot of passion, a lot of heart. But our philosophy has always been to get off the ball and penetrate. Coach Such, who was with me there helping out on the defensive line, he came up with a term, destruction and disruption. And when you really think about that, that's what you want your defensive line to do. And if you can put a body on the other side of the line of scrimmage, something that the offenses aren't used to, you run plays and everything's kind of like pushing forward over to the linebackers and that sort. Well, you put an object on the other side of the line, and then it kind of breaks the offense down a little bit. And that was kind of our game plan. We wanted to get off the ball, and we wanted to get some penetration. And those are the same things that I've brought here, and I hope that our guys can execute this season.
Did you have a discussion with Mike Leach or anybody here about maybe Clay McGuire, the O-line coach, what you did in the Holiday Bowl and how you'll bring that here, and what just to know kind of what the opposition did successfully?
Right. Yeah. No question. I mean, the coaches as well as the players. I mean, everybody. It's a sharing of knowledge. And because we can now say, hey, what can we do to get a little bit better? Well, this is what we saw being an opponent playing against you, and so that was good. That was good to know, and just the conversations back and forth. Just hey, this is what we were thinking, and this is what we were doing. And some of the players, like I said, they wanted to know, what we felt about them from a personnel standpoint, and what can they do to get better, and what our philosophies were as far as what we thought they were going to do. So when you got that. And now everybody's been working on that the offseason, the past spring, and now we're starting to see a lot of good things happening here in the fall. So building on what they were able to do last year.
I've observed you motivate very personally. You will talk to guys, not necessarily scream at guys, but you will talk to them kind of like we are right now. Would you say your style is one of a tactician? You seem to be very technical with the way you deal with the guys. You teach these guys a lot.
Yeah, coaches are teachers. I really feel that way, and I learned when I was young in the coaching that you got to teach these guys, and this is the age where you got to tell them why. You can't just bark at them. You got to tell them why you want them to do a certain thing. But then they start to see it, from a coach's standpoint, and then you got coaches on the field. You got coaches, you got the older guys helping out the younger guys. And so as I'm looking at all three, I might be focused on one, and the other guys are looking at the guys in their position and coaching them up and making sure that they're doing the things they're supposed to do. So when you have that and they can see it from a coach's standpoint, I think you elevate the program even further. And those guys, I mean, they coming from their peer means a lot more than coming from me. So you just kind of teach them what you hope they are spreading. And then the older guys spread it to the younger guys become older guys, and they spread it to the younger guys coming in. And hopefully the system continues to work with the continuity.
Come here and the cupboard's not bare. Daniel Equale, Hercules Mataafa, Nnamdi Aguayo, Derek Moore. What is your assessment of those four guys I just named and some of the depth behind them?
Yeah, oh, wow. Coach Joe did a great job. I mean, these guys, they were hungry, they were passionate, they played hard. They were athletic, they were physical, they were big. I mean, all the things that you want in a defensive line, they had. And now with guys like Daniel being a senior, McBroom being a senior, they have like an added motivation, and you could just see it from the spring to now. You throw Nnamdi in there. I mean, man, he's been moving around. I mean, with quickness and physicalness. I mean, I joke around with him. I told him he looks like he got some implants put in over the summer.
He's a big boy.
He's done a great job in the weight room.
Yeah.
And that passion and that desire to be great is what we're looking for, and I think that's going to hopefully transfer over to the field.
Well, it's great to have you on board, and it's been a pleasure observing you. I saw you talking to Kingston Fernandez today. I mean, you're talking inches. Hip movement here is wrong. Hip movement here is correct. You've got guys coming down. I mean, blades of grass. You've got them switching their cleats around. It's fascinating to watch. It's like jiu-jitsu. You've got them out there with leverage and angles. It's interesting.
Right. You teach them the fundamentals, and they'll never go wrong with it. no matter what happens, stick to the fundamentals. There's some rules to playing defensive line, so we talk in terms of rules. That way when they say, well, Coach, what happens when the guard does this? I say, well, follow your rules. Okay, yeah, he went down, I'm supposed to do this. Now he gets it, right? And so therefore, when they get out on the field, you know, in my mind, I shouldn't have to do a lot of yelling, right? The teaching and so forth happens in the classroom. That's what's so great about fall camp. In our individual periods, we got plenty of time before the first game, before we start game planning, so you can really do a great job of trying to teach them exactly what you want. And you hope that once they get out on the field, that's exactly what you see.